All right, I'm back. I'm Harold Bell for the Legends of Inside Sports. Let's continue our discussion with Jim Brown about the media. Is it friend or foe, and how do we really need this media? But I guess we do. And Jim is talking about that. And before we get to Nelson Mandela, let's see what Jim has to say about how can we overcome these obstacles that we face with media.
I talked to Chuck Heaton the other morning. Heaton writes for the Plain Dealer in Cleveland, and he pointed out that he didn't want me to leave the Hall of Fame. He was on the committee. Sometimes, they favor the hometown guys. Sometimes someone might not like someone, but overall, it's pretty fair. And I brought up the Mackey situation. He said, well, some guys said Mackey didn't have good hands.
That's unbelievable.
Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, one other thing that came out of the meeting with the group in Miami is that we can't do it by ourselves. We got to get some of these white sports writers to take up the cause, because without them, just like you said, the guy in Cleveland, without those individuals, well, it's going to be hard and tough to pull off, Jim.
Well, you see, the point is that we have a country, and I also pointed this out to this reporter in Ken, because I don't talk on a narrow level anymore. I'm talking about a country. And when you have a country that's drug infested, you have gang related crimes going on every day, you have black on black crimes, you have a president that bombs Gaddafi, yet trade arms with Khomeini. He has to testify now because he hasn't backed up Pondexter North. You have the walls and Eastern Europe falling down. You have Mandela Freed showing great leadership. You have the Japanese with their economic lead within the country. And you have a decaying America. And you got to have examples. If you say Hall of Fame, people have to feel that's an example of right and righteousness. We cannot let poison infest those higher areas that we have, because we have no examples to talk to young people about. And we have to get rid of the hypocrisy, because we talk about amateur sports. There are no longer amateur sports, Harold. There are only recreational sports. You can call that amateur, but to talk about college as if it's amateur is the most ridiculous thing in the world. And to talk about Notre Dame, they pointed out there's no such thing as amateur. There is money. But the question in this whole situation, even in the Hall of Fame, is there is money. They market our stuff. We don't get any part of it. And where does the money go? Who are the executives? And how is the board chosen?
You know, Jim, there's no doubt about it. College sports are big business, and I testified before the Maryland Senate a couple of weeks ago for Senator Decatur Trotter, who's introducing a bill down there that college athletes should be paid. I mean, anytime you could bring on, you talking about, well, we got to keep it all amateur. Why are you bringing these coaches on and paying them $500,000-$600,000 a year, and you paying only your professors your PhDs on your staff down there $60,000 and $75,000? I think that's kind of hypocritical.
Well, what it is, Harold, there is a deal made between colleges and professionals. And what the colleges are supposed to do is abide by the rules so that they can share the money when the young men are in college, will not tamper with the professionals. Then the professionals will get them at a certain time. That's how you share the revenue. That's how you keep two institutions alive. I don't mind that, because everybody and everything needs money to basically survive. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is cut out the hypocrisy. Don't say a kid is ineligible because he took a plane ticket to go see his mother, or he needed some money for his laundry. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I think that the reason they keep it ridiculous, because if they start adjusting it, then I think the whole thing is going to come out, and the American public is going to be able to see that the executives in the NCAA, they live high off the hog. And I attended the 25th anniversary, and I saw how they had those suites on top of hotels. They had the best of food. They had the best of everything. So what we have is a situation where the executives are living like kings, and the players are living like paupers.
Well, what you're saying, the slaves are living like paupers, because Jim, there was a survey that came out just recently since the last time we talked on why is it that blacks are dying so much faster than whites? And of course, they came up that the key to the whole thing is poverty. They're keeping us in poverty, and this is another example of that, holding us back and not letting us share in the financial and economic mainstream of America so that we can survive.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Not only that, our black athletes and entertainers who make tremendous amount of money help that, because what they're saying is that they don't have to infuse any money back into black society, but use themselves as examples of what you can do. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a little idealistic, because I don't think that they're going to be a major part of any black society that's going to be like a Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. Or a Dr. J or an Eddie Murphy. That's a minute section of a society and cannot be used as an example of economic welfare. Mm-hmm. The point is that we must learn to break away from these tactics that's been used to keep us down as a collective group of people, and understand that they'll always use a high-paid slave to keep the other slaves down. That was done in slavery, when you had the difference of the house and the field Negro.
Okay, that was Jim Brown telling it like it is. He is absolutely right. So much hypocrisy is going on all around us, and we want to know what's wrong with our young people. Well, our young people see the hypocrisy, so they end up being hypocrites themselves. So how do we stop this vicious cycle from going around? We'll be back with Jim Brown with more conversation on what's going on in our community and Nelson Mandela. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, okay?